Good morning, my front wheel skids, loyal Tottenham fans, loyal Spurs fans. Hope we're doing well. It's the international break, isn't it? So we'll keep reiterating. We will talk about something different today, but we'll keep it in the realms of Spurs YouTube. And let's talk about Spurs fans on mainstream television. The likes of Chris Cowling and who's the other guy on Talk Sport who's got a little hour show or whatever, and Ricky Sacks, is it Ben Bowman, and people like that, and Alistair Gold, people like this. Do they really talk for Spurs fans? Are they talking for us, or are they just shoving their own opinion, their own gutter journalism down your neck on TV? Do you get weirded out when they start saying things and think to yourself, that's not what all Spurs fans think? Because with regards to a lot of these channel hoppers from YouTube to mainstream media, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because they're like a sort of weird, are they the weird working class? Are they the weird middle class? Are they the weird upper class? Are they the weird entitled generation of fans that we've got? Because some of them, they genuinely believe that what they say is gospel. Even when it comes down to podcasts, sometimes I used to listen to the Fighting Cock podcast and think to myself, oh, these guys are all right. And then they weird me out when they go on X and say, oh, they're hoping Man City win because of their 8 for Arsenal. Okay, we've all got an 8 for Arsenal, but I never want another team to win anything, because I think they're all a bunch of cunts, to be honest with you. Perhaps I'm just more tribal than they are. Perhaps I'm just more of a tribal elder of Tottenham. But there's a few Tottenham channels like that are straight down the line with it. But then they change, don't they? You know, I had this discussion with a couple of content creators during the week and a couple of non-YouTube people. And YouTubers do change. The more time that their channel progresses on YouTube, they turn into this horrible thing with an ego, and I don't know what. I think it's the entertainment industry in a whole. Coming from a background where a lot of my friends are in the entertainment industry, I've seen them get egos. Some of them have never stayed humble. They always think they're better than you, just because they got a record contract quicker. They only got a record contract quicker because they were sheep, and people barked orders at them and they followed the orders. I've never been one for following orders. Even in the life of crime, I've never followed orders. I've never been this person who likes to associate with specific types of people or specific gangs and stuff like that. I'm freewheeling solo, and I like it that way. But when you watch these, I mean, the pushback on Chris Cowling on X from a lot of fans, they actually say he don't speak for us.
Keep up with front.
You know, the Ricky Sacks, I've seen a lot of people complain he don't speak for us. So who does speak for the Spurs fans? We've got Spurs Trust, haven't we? Is that a pay-as-you-play corporation that you got to pay to be a member of? I don't know. I don't really know a lot of technical ins and outs of some of these groups. The only one that wasn't a pay-to-play, I'll take it, it's a positive, was the protest group. So fair play to them. You weren't paid to play, and you listened to people, which was good. And I've got a feeling that some of these people watch YouTube and watch smaller YouTube channels, and they take an idea maybe we should copyright our ideas as we're saying them, because I've seen a few YouTube channels say some good ideas, and a year later, 6 months later, someone's implemented them on the Spurs Trust. So maybe they do listen and plagiarise YouTube for ideas off of people. The latest one was the ticket prices. There was loads of us working class people who mentioned that the youngsters should be getting the cheaper tickets. And all of a sudden, Spurs Trust have took that one and run with it.
Watch out.
Because it is a good idea. You know, you're not giving tickets to the likes of a 40 or 50-year-old who ain't got the energy. You're giving it to the youngsters, the people who didn't go to White Hart Lane. You're giving them the new passion for Spurs. And they've seemed to run with that idea. But let's get back onto the media in general. We've got the likes of Ricky Sachs on TV talking for us. What do we think of Ricky Sachs? As a Spurs, an old school Spurs, you know what I think? I think a lot of these people are just, they've missed their calling in life. They should have went to journalist college and they should have been a journalist, because they've all got day jobs. They've all got other jobs, but yet they want to be this multimedia person. So they're making cash. And the way they do it is by whatever narrative or agenda is fashionable, they will run with that. We've seen it on all their big channels, you know. There's only, and what I'm talking about big channels is people over 20 fucking K. People over 25K. You know, the smaller channels are under 20K. Maybe they're not as egocentric, but in all reality, to get to that point in time on YouTube, they are all narcissistic bastards. You know, let's get that fact straight. And perhaps this is why YouTube and myself do not get on, because I don't feel the need to do 25 videos a day and 3-hour-long live streams. Although coming up to 500 subscribers and so many hours watch time to get myself monetized for the super chats and the memberships, they're telling me I've got to have so many more watch hours now. And I'm not going to put the pressure on myself by doing 2-hour lives talking absolute shit, because that's following a formula, and I've never followed a formula. Not like this. It is like gutter journalism of Spurs that we've got. You know, I watched Ben Bowman the other day. I think his name was Ben Bowman. If I've got the name completely wrong, then please forgive me, Mr. Ben Bowman. But he was talking, I think it was like an half-hour, 45-minute talk sport thing. And I don't put him in the same brackets as Chris Cowling, the Ricky Sachs, and the geezer from the Fighting Cock. He's sort of, from what I got, he was a bit positive, a bit neutral. He talked a bit of reality, but he's not my personal cup of tea. You know what an old school Tottenham fan is, because he's not. He's a new school Tottenham fan. You know, he's probably born after 1990, obviously, and he's not one of Birkinshaw's army. We're a bit more what's the word? Loyal, patriotic to our team, you know. And I call them the FIFA generation, where they seem to think that, oh, it's all right, we've got an injury, when he comes back he'll be as right as rain. No, see, that's another thing that winds me up. This is how you know they don't know football or anything else, because we've got the likes of Chris Cowling, Ricky Sachs, and that lot, and the people underneath them in the pyramid scheme of fucking Tottenham. Right, they're all saying about, oh, it's all right when Kulusevski comes back. We've got Kulusevski. Do you know what? He's not going to come back the same player. That injury he's got, he's not going to come back the same player, boys and girls. He's not going to come back and be the Kulusevski we all knew. He's just not. You know, maybe an ACL, yeah, come back and work your way up. But for that first season that we're going to have Kulusevski back, tell you what, don't bank on him playing 90 minutes all the time. Please do not bank on that. Please don't think to yourself he's going to be a shot of class A into the Spurs team, because he's just not. His character might still be the same, and his fortitude and desire to play might be the same, but the kneecap won't, bruv. The body won't let you, and that's just life. Same as when James Maddison, if he comes back, do you think you'll see James Maddison in a Tottenham shirt ever again? That's a 50-50. That is a big 50-50. The young guys who get injuries, who take a knock, fractured shin, proper dodgy ankle, yeah, they'll come back the same. But these are quite big injuries for older footballers to come back from and be the same player that they ever was. And this is why we've got this media now who seems to spat falsehoods and untruths and don't realise that what you're saying to the congregation that you're performing to is that sometimes these kids take you for gospel. And I'd hate to think that these kids think that Chris Cowling speaks for us, Ricky Sachs speaks for us. Like, I don't speak for many Spurs fans. I speak for myself from the art, right? But these people, they seem to go on these channels and speak for us. And yeah, it's not my cup of tea, boys and girls. It really ain't my cup of tea when I see a YouTuber turned into a gutter journalist. You know, they've not got the math. They won't say it as it is. They've got to mind their P's and Q's. They've got to do the narrative, do the agenda. And to me, a Spurs fan has never, ever followed formula. We are the Wimbledon got called the crazy gang, yeah? Every Spurs fan I've ever known has been on the right side of history. They've always been that sort of, yeah, whatever the weather, win, lose or draw, we're Tottenham. But when you see them change their minds and big up other teams, like the geezer on the little bald geezer who sits on the Ricky Sachs panel, I see him on X. Someone put a video of him on X saying about Arsenal, and you know what? That's the sort of Spurs people we don't need. You know, we want the loyal ones on the channels giving us the positivity, because we do need some positivity. I'm not being funny. Life's shit enough. Not without some fake fucking Spurs supporter rubbing salt in the wounds. And that's as far as it goes with them. I think they're just rubbing salt in our wounds all the time, just for manipulation of media, drama, because drama sells. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Drama sells, doesn't it? That's what it's all about. Negativity sells. Have a good one. Take care. That was nearly 14 minutes of your life you're never going to get back. But please watch and subscribe, because I need to watch hours.